sex. Now that I have your attention. Please welcome to the stage the host of Crooked's new podcast, Stiffed, Jennifer Romolini. Come on out. First of all, that t-shirt is great. Jennifer, that t-shirt, please join. Yes, please sit with me. That t-shirt, we have a channel about great designs, and we've been talking, and we have a channel called Crooked Queers. And this shirt specifically has been all over both. Protect Trans Kids. It's a great shirt. As it should be. Yes. If it's not clear from the title, what exactly is Stiffed about?
Dicks.
Cool.
No, it's about 70s feminist erotica. It's about specifically a 70s feminist porn magazine called Viva that was put out by Bob Guccione, who, if anybody doesn't know, was the publisher of Penthouse and sort of famously sleazy, but he looked sleazy. And a bunch of scrappy feminist journalists put out this magazine sort of under his, sort of hiding from him, basically.
Now, one of the main turning points in Viva's history hinges on an important question. Should we or should we not show dong?
Yes.
And they do.
They show so much dick. It's just, there's like a point where there's just like dicks with glitter on them, rodeo dicks, like just so much dicks next to a stereo. There's just so much dick. And like, they're all flaccid and they're not that erotic. There's like shrinkage and it's weird. It's just a weird magazine.
It's like, hey, let's turn that knob and then turn the radio up. You know what I mean?
I do.
You get it?
I do. I'm picking it up.
So actually, this guy, Bob Guccione, was actually sort of in charge of choosing the dongs. Is that right?
So yeah, so yes, he was weirdly
but he was straight.
He was 100% straight. He loved women, famously loved women. Like he had like a whole floor of his house in Manhattan that just like a bunch of penthouse pets lived in. Anyway, that's a whole long story. But Viva was never through a woman's lens. It was always through a male lens. All of the photography was shot by men. And, this one man was like, I felt like I was a lesbian. And I was like, I think you got that wrong, sir. Like, that's not,
That's confusing.
Yeah, they were all in their 80s. So it was all very confusing. But Bob Guccione wanted to control all of the images and he decided what he thought women wanted. Exactly.
How did Anna Wintour feel about the dicks?
The dicks were gone by the time Anna Wintour came around into the magazine, but she still will never talk about the magazine. She pretends like she never worked there. And like I was like, I know you worked there.
We all have those jobs.
Totally. We 100% do.
She doesn't want to be like, oh yeah, and there was that time I worked on the magazine with all the dongs.
Exactly. I worked for Bob Guccione, like with all pornographers. She doesn't want anything to do with that. She in fact wore sunglasses the entire time she was in the office too, which I just love. Imagine.
So one of the themes of the podcast is how the men and women who made Viva possible, more broadly, the men and women engaged in what we think of as like the sexual revolution, are really stuck in their gender roles.
Yes.
And it doesn't seem as though like there was no queer. It doesn't seem like queerness was a big part of the conversation.
Not necessarily. I mean, what's really interesting is that there was so much progressive writing in this magazine, and it's a mainstream magazine. And there was, they wrote about bisexuality, they wrote about open marriage, they wrote really openly about fantasies. There were trans people in Viva, so it was so far ahead of its time because it was part of the sexual revolution. But I think that you're right that they were stuck in their gender roles, and particularly the way that they were stuck in their gender roles was that there's a man in charge. And the women were like, oh, I'm cowering, so that was a problem.
Another theme in Viva is how difficult it is to make an erotic product when the motive is profit and when it's meant to be for women in a culture that is, as you said, like sort of controlled by this man and controlled more generally and made more generally to please men. And in some ways, it seems like trying to appeal to what you think people find hot as a way of telling them what they should find hot.
Yes. I mean, and I think we still haven't figured that out. I mean, I think that the porn is still mostly geared toward, cis white straight men. But I think one of the interesting things about this project for me was that, we think of the sexual revolution as this like funky, freewheeling, sexy fun times. And for women, it was actually a really confusing time because they had all this pressure to get hip and get sexy and, get with the times, but they had no protections. And there was a lot of sexual assault, not to be a bummer, but like there was a lot of sexual assault and there was just they didn't really know what they were supposed to do. There were no protections for them. And it was really only revolutionary for men is what I came to ultimately.
And yeah, I mean, it does seem like we're sort of even now still reckoning. I mean, that is a live topic right now, right?
Yes.
We're like basically, this idea of liberation, but without power.
Yes, that's precisely it. And, also just direct correlation. So 50 years ago, they started this magazine. Roe v. Wade had just been passed. And they really thought that like, okay, now progress begins and doesn't end. We've won. So interviewing these women 50 years later, I mean, I really tried to not bring this into the podcast because it was so depressing. But like, they were bummed the fuck out. They were really bummed out. Like they thought they were going up. And now they didn't expect that their body autonomy would start being taken away again. I mean, we're moving really far backwards.
It's true.
It's true. It's a bummer.
Now let me ask you this.
Yes, let's move to something else, please. Glitter dicks again. Like, let's go back to that.
What do women want anyway?
I mean, I think women want dicks, but I think our straight women want dicks. And maybe they would like to see them in not such a ridiculous, like, bouncing, sort of soft, shy way. Like maybe they would like to, see something else, a heartier, I don't know, stronger, something else.
And again, happy Mother's Day, Mom. How did this become the Mother's Day episode? Woo!
I think they want freedom. I think women want freedom and autonomy. That's what I think they want.
Now, yeah. Now, I thought since we have you here, this is the perfect opportunity to take something everyone is extremely interested in, sex,
yes,
and use it to discuss something absolutely no one is interested in despite its importance, the debt ceiling. Seeing as how we're hurtling toward defaults as soon as June 1st, and we got to do something to get people to give a rat's ass. Jennifer, it's time for a segment we're calling Debbie Does Debt Ceiling. I'll be playing the role of the United States current debt. Jennifer, if you would please be Congress. And joining us, it's the sexiest member. Okay, who wrote this? You can't. Did Halle write this for herself? The sexiest member of Love It or Leave It team, head writer Halle.
Woo! Of course I wrote it. I have to write this whole show every week.
Just given the topic, I can't call you the sexiest member without acknowledging that you wrote the card.
Thank you. Honesty above all things. Oh my gosh.
Oh no. Let us begin. Gross.
Someone's at the door. Oh, hi.
Oh, hey, right on.
No.
Love your extremely long 70s nightgown. Anyway, I've got a huge hot financial obligation pizza with extra sausage for, let's see here. The name it says Congress.
That's me.
Ah, wow. That's like one of my favorite names. Anyway, that'll be $31.4 trillion.
Uh-oh, I don't have enough money. How will I ever pay you?
Oh, I bet we can come up with something if we get creative.
Oh, I'm not sure we can.
Let's take it again. Take it again.
Oh, I'm not sure we can.
Nope.
Oh, it's I am sure.
Oh, I'm sure we can.
Yes.
No.
It's okay.
I can't. Okay.
Might as well only opportunity to ever drink the
Okay,
porno.
here we
So
go.
go ahead.
All right, here we go. Oh, I'm sure we can. I ordered this with my roommate, the Republican Party. Let's see if she could help us out, if you get my drift.
Let's make some magic happen.
Republicans? Could you come in here?
Oh, hi. Sorry, I was taking a shit in the back of your toilet.
What?
Ew, Republicans, why would you do that?
Because I don't give a fuck. I will do anything to ruin your life, even if it means ruining my own.
But that's your toilet too, Republicans. We only have one. Don't you see? You upper decked yourself. Why would you do that?
You think I don't know that? I repeat, I don't give a fuck. I will let the entire world burn before I help you figure out how to pay for this, even though I absolutely racked up this debt alongside you. This is my only way to force my horrible policies onto our household, like rolling back clean energy tax credits, reducing spending on affordable housing, not to mention slashing nutrition assistance for mothers and babies living in poverty, air traffic control, the State Department, and you guessed it, fucking cancer research.
Jesus, that's really fucked up.
Oh, I know. And all that stuff is really popular with all voters, so it's not even like people are asking me to do this.
Don't get her started. It's a whole thing.
Dang, wait, so you don't want to get together for one steamy voting session and make some magic happen, by which I mean prevent a countrywide recession and a potential global economic collapse?
No, I'm gonna take this pizza and I'm gonna throw it on top of the neighbor's garage. And I hope when it falls off, their dog eats it and it fucking dies. Bye, gaylords!
Hey, she rollerbladed away with the pizza.
I hate her so much. Stop running up the stairs. That is not parkour just because you call it that.
Damn, I really thought we were gonna make some magic happen. Sorry about your pizza.
That's okay. Hey, while you're here, can you help me pull my... Hey, while you're here, can you help me pull my stepmom out of the dryer? She's been stuck in there for days, and I'm starting to get worried.
Yeah, it would be an honor, Congress. And scene.
End scene.
Halle, Kiefer, Jennifer Romolini, everybody. Thank you so much, Jennifer. Everybody go listen to Sips. It's an incredible story, an incredible podcast. Congratulations on the podcast.
Thank you.